The government has been collecting information about your Bitcoin purchases since 2021.
They have your info. They don't know how much you bought. They don't know how much you're holding. They know that you have bought. They know you had it. And they're going to make assumptions. They're going to say, hey, look, this person, oh, look, he made like $1 million last year. I bet he spent a lot of money in crypto. They're going to make assumptions. Anything that requires a KYC. Those will send out 1099 DAs, digital assets. That includes products such as MoonPay, even if you buy on MetaMask. So it's not just like an exchange. It's anything that requires a KYC. They will send it out for every single transaction that generates a taxable event. That means transferring between accounts, wallets, hardware, whatever it is. In technicality, no, it is not a taxable event if it's a self-transfer. Do you think Coinbase is going to talk to MetaMask or Crackdown or Gemini and says, hey, this person just sent out something to you. Can you verify if this is their own exchange or own wallet or own whatever? It's not going to happen. The government knows that these 1099s will be incorrect. Whether it is to your benefit or not, they will be incorrect. I have so many emails between the attorneys of the IRS, so many emails between the SEC, congressional committees. I have so many emails between the exchanges, between the crypto tax products, trying to give them everything for free to fix it and make it so that people can actually survive an audit. Instead, they partnered with Chainalysis in order to trace and seize crypto from people who owe taxes, not to fix their internal calculations. People don't understand that I bought them time, but I cannot buy them any more time. And I've tried, trust me.
Welcome to Sat Chats, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Sat Chats, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you are brand new to Bitcoin, we want to chat about sats with you. Head to satchats.com to grab your slot in the studio today. I'm your host, Stuart.
And I'm your co-host, Anna Bevan.
And today we have number 130, Janna, who just let us know that, number one, the government has been collecting information about your Bitcoin purchases since 2021. Mm-hmm. Number two, they are placing the onus of reporting your Bitcoin buys and sells and gains or losses onto your exchange. And number three, they're going to report it wrong, and next year's tax season is going to be a big old freaking mess, and the government knows it, and everybody is recording and collecting things wrong, and this is stressing me out.
It's just a big old dumpster fire.
So we are going to learn more about this, and hopefully you too as well, Satillionaires. Unless your plan is to have lost all your Bitcoin in a boating accident, you should probably listen up to the end of this episode so you can feel more prepared for next year's tax season. Janna, why don't you introduce yourself to our Satillionaires? And then let's launch right into everything that is currently not being done correctly.
Let's go.
Hi. Well, thanks for having me. This has been fun already. I'm the founder of DeFi Tax. I own a couple of other companies, but I think that's the main one we're going to focus on because I solely created that company to fix what's broken. And there's a lot broken. And as you said, I really want to ensure that crypto is here to stay because it is amazing. It is just going to be exploited by third-party companies and the government, and that's why DeFi Tax came to be.
I mean, it sounds like what you were talking about before we started is someone like me who I just buy Bitcoin every week. I'm just chugging along week after week. I have not sold any of it. Okay. So at tax time,
moved it?
But have I moved it? Maybe between addresses inside a wallet for like UTXO purposes.
Yeah.
Or I'm not sure. I know as a business, Sat Chats is on a Bitcoin standard, and that gives me a lot of joy. It gives me a lot of relief,
Yeah.
Personally, I may not have as much Bitcoin as I want. Personally, I may not yet be fully on a Bitcoin standard, but at least Sat Chats is, for goodness sakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we move Bitcoin all the time because we offer $50 worth of Bitcoin to every single one of the 130 guests who have come on our show. Plus, we have a live game show where you play for up to $1 million. We're moving Bitcoin like a boss.
All the time.
Right? So are we headed for a big old headache?
My brain is going. I want to ask so many questions.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God.
Over here.
Bruh. So anyways, it made me feel like I might get a 1099 or whatever it is, or a 10 something or other from Bitcoin Well, right? That's where I buy my Bitcoin from Bitcoin Well.
Anything that has KYC,
Okay.
will send out 1099s. That includes like products such as MoonPay, right? Because you're using your bank, for example, right? Even if you buy on MetaMask, so that's included. It's not just like an exchange, right? Coinbase. People think Coinbase, Kraken, No, it's anything that requires a KYC. Those will send out 1099 DAs, digital assets, right? So not 1099 miscellaneous, 1099 DA. And they will send it out for every single transaction that generates a taxable event, okay? What that means is transferring between accounts, wallets, ledger from one exchange to hardware, whatever it is. It's a transfer. It's in technicality, no, it is not a taxable event if it's a self-transfer. However, do you think Coinbase is going to talk to MetaMask or Kraken or Gemini and says, hey, this person just sent out something to you. Can you verify if this is their own exchange or own wallet or own whatever? It's not going to happen. So if you send something, in all technicality, that send generates, if it's not a self-transfer, generates a gain or loss. So you bought it, let's say you bought it for $50. It's now $100. You send it out. You send it to your own wallet. You don't have a $50 gain. How is that exchange, that product, supposed to know that it was to your own? Okay. There's a $50 gain. Now, not all products do that. They allow you, some allow you to go in the back end and say, no, this was a self-transfer. However, how many people do you think are going to use that to facilitate fraud?
A lot.
Certainly at least some.
But do you see what I'm saying? So there's no protocol in place to actually connect those. And as we discussed earlier, in 2021, the IRS received permission from the Justice Department to send out 1,000 John Doe summonses and to all the KYC products. And I mean, this is my opinion. I'm not an attorney, but I'm going to say my opinion is, why are they allowed to collect data from private companies on U.S. taxpayers they've not broken the law? What gives them the right to collect our personal data from private companies? Well, they've done it. They just a few months ago got the third round of responses back. So they have a nice little list. They don't know how much you bought. They don't know how much you're holding. They know that you have bought. They know you had it. And they're going to make assumptions, right? And they're going to say, hey, look, this person, oh, look, he made like $1 million last year. I bet he spent a lot of money in crypto, right? They're going to make assumptions. They say, oh, look, this person made 50,000. Nah, they didn't make a lot on crypto. We're going to audit them maybe later down the line. Okay. So that's one of the things. They have your info. I don't think it's right. I think they're private companies. It is not regulated. It's not overseen by any government agencies. What gives them the right to do this?
Okay. So hang on right there. Because there's two things that I'm hearing. Number one, I thought that Bitcoin, you just needed to record when you went into Bitcoin, and then you needed to record when you got out of Bitcoin for gains or losses. But you're saying transfers inside the Bitcoin network could potentially create a taxable event. and your only hope is to be able to prove it was a self-transfer, which is a big old mess. And so it's not just, hey, I bought $50 worth of Bitcoin. Later, hey, I cashed out $100 worth of Bitcoin. That's a $50 gain. Here you go, Mr. Government. There's the capital gains taxes on the $50. There's a bunch of squiggly business here in the middle
There's a lot
that
of
could create
business in the middle.
That is an absolute headache. Why? Not cool. You're that, I can see people saying, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with the greatest money of all time because it's too complicated. And that's not okay.
Yeah, and it's going to hit hard once those 1099s go out and people are being hit with incredible gains, right? And look, the people that are going to get hit with losses, they're going to go, yay. However, they're still not saved from audits. So they might still get audited for crypto and then those losses might be revoked. Who knows? However, ultimately, right, the people that are going to get the gains are going to, I don't have this. IRS doesn't care. IRS says, well, we couldn't do it right ourselves. So what's the easiest way to get around having to do it yourself and taking responsibility? Let's make the exchanges send out 1099s, because what is one of the rules when it comes to the filings of W-2s, 1099s, etc.? You have to contact the issuer of it. If your employer says, "Hey, I'm going to report a $500,000 W-2 for you. You only got paid $100, but meh," you call the IRS and you say, "Hey, this is wrong." The IRS says, "Sorry, go ahead and contact the person that filed the W-2." What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like I could have a situation where the Bitcoin that I am dollar cost averaging into weekly through Bitcoin Well is coming from Bitcoin Well to me each week, and Bitcoin is doing what Bitcoin does. It's going up in value, and so my cost basis is, shifting upward, but I'm seeing gains in dollar terms, right? But it's all been sent to me. I haven't sold any of it.
So those are unrecognized. Those are not recognized gains until you either send it to somebody else outside your network. Now, ultimately, if you send it, let's say to a cold wallet or hardware wallet, you move it out of there, and that 1099 issuer doesn't recognize it as a self-transfer, then yes, you're looking at a possible taxable event reported as well. Or if you then trade it for a different, that's a taxable event, right? So, but ultimately, if you buy it to hold it and you don't move it anywhere, right? You buy it to hold it, you're okay. You don't have recognized gains until, one of the taxable events happens, meaning you're trading it, you're moving it, which self-transfer, not a taxable event, but again, how do they know?
Right.
Right.
Or you're selling it, right? So those three things would create the taxable events, or you're staking it, things like that.
Yeah, because I'd be afraid that I'm getting it from Bitcoin Well into a warmer wallet, and once it reaches a certain amount, I transfer it over into cold storage.
Yep, there you go.
No one's able to see that that's just me doing my own money management, and I get slapped with a tax bill because they believe I've made some kind of gain. I'm like, dude, I haven't made no gains.
Correct. Exactly.
I now have to come up with the cash on a $10,000.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, dude. So I do not want that, and that's too complicated.
That's what's happening. They're either over-reporting gains, under-reporting gains, they're over-reporting losses, they're under-reporting losses. So ultimately, right, people go, yay, if it's under-reporting. Yeah, okay. But eventually it will still pop up, right? Because just because 1099s come doesn't mean you don't get an audit, right? But that's ultimately the problem we're running into is the government knows that these 1099s will be incorrect. Whether it is to your benefit or not, they will be incorrect. And it doesn't matter anyways, because if you have to, let's say you get $100,000 loss, right? Reported. You didn't have it, but you only can take $3,000 of it. But guess what? You get a $100,000 gain reported. You have to pay taxes on a $100,000 gain.
Not cool.
This
You know
is
what I mean?
just
There's
delightful.
a limitation.
Ah.
Well, I've been dealing with this and I've been trying to listen, I have so many emails between the attorneys of the IRS, so many emails between the SEC, congressional committees. I have so many emails between the exchanges, between the crypto tax products, trying to give them everything for free to fix it and make it so that people can actually survive an audit and have somebody to back them up. In April of this year, one of the major exchanges in the US sent them a letter outlining their issues because this major exchange, okay, they're filing 1099 DAs, they're calculating their own taxes, but their shareholders in two of the multi-billion-dollar crypto tax products on the market, the top ones, they're endorsing them. They're sending people to it. They're shareholders. So my assumption was, I like scientific method. My assumption was I'm going to take the data from this exchange. Again, it's a test exchange. It had 40 transactions for 2024, buy, sell, trade. That's it. Nothing fancy. So I took those and I say, okay, you major exchange, tell me, I have $99 of gain in 24. Awesome. I'm going to go to the first product that you're endorsing, that you're a shareholder in, that you're working with. And I would assume you did your due diligence and you match one another, right? On your same data. So I go and I import my data, OAuth2, right? I don't manipulate anything, comes over. That product tells me I have gains of $2,990. Oh, no. We're going to have some more fun. So I go to the second product that they've been endorsing for years, shareholders in it, all kinds of things. So you would think I'm somewhere in between there, right? Like maybe I have $99 of gain. Maybe I have $2,009, who knows? Nope. I have $351 in losses.
What?
Oh, I know why. I've audited them and I know why they're doing it wrong. But so we send a letter out to that exchange. And we said, listen, this is the issue. It's negligence, it's due diligence issues. We were nice about it too. We gave them the proof. We showed them the documentation, said, let's talk. This 40-something billion dollar exchange took them less than 36 hours to overnight update their terms of services to exclude class action lawsuits, make arbitration mandatory, take away the liability for their own tax calculations, and take away the liability for the third parties that they're sending people to.
So to go back to what you said earlier, not only has the government just scraped information about private citizens who are law-abiding purchasers and sellers and traders of crypto, which is like already not cool, but also the exchanges themselves are promoting crypto tax solutions that they hold stakes in that will take your $99 in capital gains and either turn it into $351 in losses or $2,990 in gains. One grossly overestimated the gains and one slightly underestimated loss. It was a mess.
But look at the issue is this. If they can't get it right on 40 transactions, 40, that are literally straight up buys, straight up sells, straight up trades, right? Because I monitored this. I made it very simple. I made it very easy.
Well, this is just great.
And how many buyers, I guess, how many of these 1099 DAs do you think are going to be produced by
8 billion.
8 billion in America or worldwide?
No, America.
In America.
I'll tell you why. Because every single trade, sell, stake, anything that creates a taxable event gets its own 1099 DA. Have you ever seen, Charles Schwab, any of those forms where there's like a bunch of line items for the different sale? Okay.
Yes.
Every single, so the IRS does not receive that form where it's all listed on one. The IRS receives a form for each single sale. Do you see what I'm saying?
Golly.
So the IRS will get 8 billion, but you will get a summary of it. Does that make sense?
Sure, but if the IRS has been consistently losing funding and personnel over the decades,
Oh God, it's going to be a disaster.
how are they going to deal with 8 billion individual form submissions?
They'll be e-filed. They're e-filed. They just go through the system. The IRS is not even going to look at them.
So
man.
since the IRS cannot effectively inspect whether we're filing our taxes correctly already.
The thing is, guess what? In 23, they put out a request for information and a request for proposal. I gave them literally a complete breakdown on how to do it right, on how to do it so that the American taxpayers, because listen, this, should we pay taxes? Right now, the law says yes. Let's go by that. Okay. Right now, the law says yes.
Love that answer.
Whoa.
Huh?
Should
Well,
we pay taxes? And then she's like,
I
right
love
now,
that
yes.
energy. I love that energy.
Well, I'm talking. I mean, listen. I do taxes for a living. So yes, you should pay taxes because the law says you should. Okay. The law says you should. So the law also says you shouldn't kill somebody. Am I homicidal? Sometimes 100%. Is everybody still alive? Unfortunately, yes. Right?
Dang. Hot takes here.
Love it.
Woo.
This is great.
So you should, but what?
There you go. There's we have to follow the law. It's the law. So
Okay.
right now the law says we have to pay taxes on crypto. Okay. And it's very straightforward. It's like any other asset. It's like stocks. That's how it's treated. Okay. The annoying part is this. They want you to treat it like stocks. They want you to treat it like broker dealers are treated. That's how you pay on crypto. That's how it's set. That's how a law is set. But the issue is the brokers and dealers, meaning the exchanges, the products that are being used, none of them follow the fiduciary duties, the best price regulations. They follow none of what broker dealers have to follow. They make their own prices. They add their own spread. They make up their own spot prices. And they get, they don't disclose what they're making. They disclose it, but they don't disclose it. And we can talk about that in a second. But now this is being reported, and you have to prove to the IRS that they're wrong. They don't have to prove that they're right. So how easy would it have been for them to take, back in September of 23, October 23, when I gave them the entire write-up on how to do it right, to fix it? No, instead they partnered with Chainalysis in order to trace and seize crypto from people who owe taxes. Not to fix their internal calculations.
Dude.
Oh.
You can find the contract on like governmentcontracts.gov, whatever that website is. Everything I say is valid. You can validate with an easy Google search.
All right. So number one, the IRS already is not capable of making sure that everyone is paying the correct amount of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. They can't do the math themselves, but they want you, the taxpayer, to do the math yourself right. And if you don't, so let's say, give me an example. Let's say you use, I almost said the name of the product. Let's say you use the product that gave you $2,990 on gains, right? Let's say I used that and I reported that. And let's say in 4 years, because the IRS is slow, in 4 years, I'm going to get audited. And they say, oh, you know what? You overpaid. You only had like $300 in gains. But, sorry about this. It's past the 3-year statute of limitations, so you're not getting a refund for the overpaid taxes. Okay.
Ah.
Okay. Wait. Let's say you use the other product, or you use the major exchange, and you said, okay, I reported a loss of $351. No, you actually had $300 in gains, so you owe us taxes, and there's no statute of limitation. You still owe us taxes. Here's the penalties. and the interest and the taxes. So now pay us double of what you actually owe, because we said you should know how to do it yourself, even though we couldn't do it ourselves. But we're going to say you have to do it ourselves. And we didn't even let you know that using those products wasn't going to do you any good, because they're all wrong anyways, because we tried using them ourselves actually and wasted your taxpayer money on 2 products. And you can find that online. So I can say the name TaxFit and Zen Ledger, right? We wasted money on those, got contracts with them, realized that they're actually wrong too. And we're wrong and everybody's wrong, but we're going to let you handle it yourself. But because we couldn't figure it out and we didn't want to look like didn't want to make public that we've made so many mistakes already and wasted money, let's just go and make the exchanges report to us. Again, we know they're wrong, but that way it's not our fault. We can blame them.
So hang on real quick. Are you saying that the American tax system puts a limit on when we can get refunds if we've messed something up the good way?
Yeah.
But there ain't no limit on when they can come back and say, BTW, owe us more?
Yes.
Yeah.
For real?
I mean, yes. Yeah.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
How can that be?
Oh, I mean, like, why does that surprise you, Stuart? Like, that feels like the most government-y thing to do.
That's so busted.
Because
That's not fair.
They've already spent their money. Like, they're not like, oh, here's our little special pocket of, like, we made a mistake money.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like, they're robbing the highway fund to pay the general fund. Like, it's
Social
just
Security
Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
That's
all
not
of that.
cool.
It's classic robbing funds.
That is not
I literally
cool.
don't know why you're surprised. You were the one who told me I should restart my computer because that makes perfect sense. But
Exactly. Exactly.
So-
Thank you.
but this surprises you?
Yeah, I guess I'm just like freshly offended. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know
Listen,
the gouvernement.
I get offended every time. I offend myself by just thinking about it.
So so with any of the legislation that's been passed on a federal level in the last, like, over the summer, is that impacting any of this in a positive direction, opening up conversation to make changes?
No, I listened to in October 1st, the freaking Senate of Finance had the taxation hearing, and they had the biggest idiots there. Coinbase was there. I'm sorry, but me and my tax attorney, we watched it and we're like, this is stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. And then the head of the Association for CPAs, she literally said, I mean, I don't know how to keep records right. You're a CPA and you want to say, like, and I mean, literally, they have no clue because they don't understand it. I literally, listen, when I met with the IRS, right, the thing is, you can give me all your raw transactional data and I can sit in front of tax court and, like in 5th grade, show my work and prove to the IRS where they're wrong and I'm right, because that's how I started out. I started doing it manually without the software because all of these products are failing spectacularly because they're built by coders. They're missing all the little nuances that come into play. They do not organize and categorize the data accurately because they just went ahead and grabbed API keys to all the products instead of running test transactions through it and seeing what actually comes out on the other side in order to reconcile it right. I did that. I freaking had to go to different countries to get access to certain exchanges that used to be allowed here because the VPNs wouldn't even override it. Like, I put in the freaking work and effort and, trust me, sweat and tears and frustration because, and this is the fun part, all these people who are not listening to what's happening, if I wouldn't have presented that research to the IRS and they would have not subsequently shut down the audits, you know how many of you people would have been in audit at this point, crypto audit, and failed spectacularly because none of these products will be able to be used in an audit to say that the IRS is wrong or right either way. But people didn't get hurt because I was early enough to stop it before the main audits went out. And now we're in years, right? We stopped it for 23, 24, and now most of 25. It will come back. It will come back. But people don't understand that I bought them time. You know, I bought them time, but I cannot buy them any more time. And I've tried, trust me, I have called every single person, tried to call every single, like, call in every favor I can to get somebody to listen to me about the 1099s. And it might as well be too late, because once January 31st hits, that's the deadline for all the 1099s to be filed. Once they're filed, they're filed.
What is the solution for normal people like us?
Yeah, what do we do about it?
Like, what do we do? Asking for a friend?
There really isn't a solution, right? So the product I built, okay? Listen, the product I built, and I built it because after October, when the IRS decided, well, screw this, I'm just going to partner with Chainalysis, I've said, well, screw all of you too. You guys didn't want the free research I offered you. I'm just going to do it myself, right? Stubbornness, moral compass, well, and I just got pissed. So if I would have known what goes into developing a software, I probably would have thought twice about it, but it's too late now. But, I built it so that one of the main reasons, even if all the products would be 100% accurate, one reason why they could never ever be used in an audit is the features. Now they're wrong. We have established that. But what is one thing we know about the blockchain? What happens on the blockchain stays on the blockchain. You can't fix it. You can't change it. You can't reverse it. There's nothing you can do about it, right? So imagine you write a $10,000 check, and then you go to your bank and you say, hey, bank, I don't really like that $10,000 check. Can you change the denomination to yen and maybe remove a couple zeros? They would look at you like you're insane, right?
Right.
These products, they import the data directly from the blockchain, which means what comes over is what happened, right? But they let you edit the transaction. The transaction they pulled from the blockchain, they allow you to say, well, this trade was actually, I didn't trade it for Bitcoin. I'm going to change this to Ethereum. I'm going to change the spot price to $200,000 and the fees to $150,000. And why don't we change the date and time on it too?
What?
I am not kidding. Go sign up to any of those products and import a couple transactions. Click on edit. Go check it out. I'm not kidding. So that alone, that feature alone will disqualify it from being used in an audit, because just like QuickBooks, it can manipulate data. QuickBooks is not allowed in an audit. They want bank statements. They don't want your QuickBooks that you could have manipulated, right? Mm-hmm. So my product doesn't have this. But the other products have to have it because, again, what I said earlier, they didn't do their due diligence. They don't know how to categorize things. They don't know how to clean things up. Now, is there a necessity for you to change a Bitcoin trade to an Ethereum trade? Absolutely not. If it came from the Bitcoin blockchain, right, it's a Bitcoin. You can't just change it to Ethereum. Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother story. I mean, there's things that are not feasible. But now we'll go back to the issue of the actually exchanges. So my favorite exchange, I'm being sarcastic if you can't tell. I mean, all of them have the same issues. But so let me give you an example. Let's say I buy $5 worth of Bitcoin. The exchanges will tell me, or the products, any of them, will tell me, look, there's a fee inclusive of spread. So they say, you're buying $5. I'm going to give you, on the transaction screen, it says, I'm going to give you $4.79.21 as a fee. I say, okay, great. That's awesome. I'll buy it. So I'll buy it. The transaction screen, after I buy it, submit it, it still says $5.21 fee, $4.79 is what you got. Now you go into their back end. Just go into their back end. And all of a sudden they say, well, you know what? I actually decided you didn't get the spot price that I quoted you. You're going to get a lesser spot price. And in order to make up for the wrong spot price that I quoted you, I'm going to take an extra 5 cents of fees. So now you actually got $4.74 of Bitcoin. And I'm going to take 26 cents of fees. So now that's kind of messed up, right? Because you have to actually go into the back end to figure out that that's what they did. But let's say you buy $50 of Bitcoin. You would assume it's a multiple of 10. You would assume that the 5 cent difference would then be 50 cents, right? Because they took 5 cents extra, now they take 50 cents. Now, on a $50 transaction, they take an extra $2.68. But they don't tell you that.
What like, so is this like, are they showing you that on your smartphone app, you've got $50 worth of Bitcoin, but in their back end, you really only have 46, 47? Like, is this how they make money for themselves? Like, what are you saying? Yes?
Yeah. So on the front end transaction, right? So on the front end transaction, you put in, and listen, once we're not on podcast, I'll share my screen with you and I'll show you everything. So on the transaction, for example, you say I'm buying $50. I'm using $50 of cash to buy Bitcoin. You don't get $50 because there's fees included, right? And they tell you, they say, okay, $50. It's a $7.07 fee. Okay, remember that, because that's what it is. That's a real example. And you say, okay, great, I'll pay the $7.07 fee, which is ludicrous, but it's still $7.07. You pay it, and you get your Bitcoin. Okay, and your basis is $50 because you spend $50 and it includes the fee, but you get the Bitcoin after the fee. Then you go to the back end. You pull the data, and you got a spot price on the transaction too. And then you go to the back end. The spot price is different. And now that $7.07 actually turned to almost $10.
Wow.
What in the world? That is making me feel completely unanchored in reality.
But it's listen, everything, again, it's easily verifiable. Like, if you want the details, I'll go through it with you. I'll show you everything. It's easy. Everything I say, this is the thing that pisses me off. None of this. Everybody can verify this themselves. And I can tell you how. You can go and verify everything I say about the products, the tax products, about the exchanges, all of them, all of the products. I can show you all of it. Like, you can verify it easily. Everything I say, you can verify.
But not all, are all exchanges doing that? Or are they doing it at a different degree?
To a different degree, but they're all doing it. The only one that is the least bad is Exodus.
Exodus is the least bad.
That's still not encouraging.
Golly.
Like, that's like the least awful meal you've made. That's still not a great compliment.
It sounds like, number one, if we are individuals, we should prepare for a possible headache early next year when these KYC or know your customer organizations, whether it's an exchange or some other Bitcoin service, sends us, we should almost brace for it to be incorrect, and should maybe be taking this time now to manually record our own activity on, like, just a homebrew spreadsheet.
The problem is manually doing it is not going to get it right until you go to the first ever transaction that you had, which is why I built the product for you to get it right, because we actually offer to deal with audits with you. I would love to. Please go get audited, use my product, and let me go fight. I'm looking forward to it, because like I said, fifth grade, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to show my freaking work.
So, it sounds like we should prepare for a possible headache next year.
Definitely.
That's
Janna's product sounds like it's the only one that can get all the way to the bottom of
we can, and we can help you, and we can protect you in an audit. We can protect you and argue with the IRS, because, like I said, please let me. You know, like,
I feel like that should be your company slogan. Please let me.
Please let me. Please let.
Just like, I got swords in the back, like right at dawn.
Like, I'm giving away so many. Listen, we have prices listed, but right now I haven't charged a dime to anyone. I just let them all in. They sign up for what they want, and guess what? They get a free code, because this was never about money. This was about fixing it, and I'm being petty, pissing off the products that made multi-billions of dollars, and the exchanges that made, because a lot of the exchanges have partnerships with those tax products, right? But the people and companies and so-called crypto tax experts, the CPAs and whatnot, that made billions of dollars off of lies.
Mm. Yeah, because
right?
I was going to ask, it's like, why would you do all this? And why are you giving the government your research for free and all this stuff? But
Because it wasn't about money. It's
Mhm.
about the damage. Okay, remember the ERC credits during the pandemic, like the employee retention credits? All
Yeah.
these companies, okay, all these companies that came out of the woodworks and filed these 1090, these 941 amendments for people, and then took 25% once they got paid out. The IRS, because it was COVID and it was panic, they got them and they paid them out without reviewing them. So a lot of these companies actually filed complete fraudulent reports. The companies, the individual employer got a ton of money back. The companies took 25%, disappeared. Okay. Now they have to pay it back because it was fraudulent, but those companies are gone. Now imagine this on a large crypto scale. Imagine these companies coming out of the woodworks, these CPA firms or these other accounting companies that are going to pop up, and they say, I can help you. Charge you $5, $10, $15,000, panic people, and then they're going to try to use any of those products where they pay $100, and it's already happening, by the way. That's why I said Trish Turner. She's working for one of those companies now. It's fun. But ultimately, I'm trying to get ahead of all these greedy coming out of the woodworks, taking advantage of desperate people because they don't know how to do it better. They don't know who to rely on, yet they can't go and defend you because they cannot tell the IRS or show them that they're wrong, because that's what they have to do. The IRS doesn't have to prove to you that they're right. You have to prove that they're wrong. How are you going to do that? And the amount of people that will come out of the woodworks, and these products alone, they're already saying IRS compliant. No, you're not. No, you're not. You make up numbers, even in your own product. I mean, it's ridiculous. And that was my main goal. My main goal wasn't to make money. Yeah, I have prices listed, but literally go ahead and sign up right now. You don't have to pay a dime. You literally get a code to the main platinum package.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm about to get
You know
me
what I mean?
mine.
Like I've funded this all myself through work and a couple of family and friends investors. And trust me, I'm broke. But it wasn't about the money. It was about fixing this.
Mm.
You know, it was about having something that will not, like, imagine our middle class. Let's go back to audits. Let's say Joe Schmo over here, 2 kids, dog, sick cat, because she always, gets into whatever, and wife. And they make $80,000 a year, right? Let's say in 2018, he bought some crypto, or 2007, 2017 or whatever. He bought some crypto, and then 19 it exploded. Let's say he had $10,000 of capital gains tax, right? Because let's say he made 100 grand, or $50,000, 20% long term, he had $10,000 of capital gains tax. Yay! He went on a vacation, he had fun. 2019, he didn't know what to do with it. He just took the $50,000. Let's say he gets audited and they say, hey, you didn't pay the $10,000. So since it's been 6 years and we compound interest onto it at about between 6 to 8%, and you're going to get an underpayment penalty, an accuracy related penalty, and possibly a substantial understatement penalty, which is 20 to 40%, you now owe 3 times as much as you originally did.
Bruh.
So now Joe Schmo relies on his $4,000 or $5,000 refund every year that he gets through the child tax credits and things like that, earned income credit, right? He relies on it. He needs it. Well, Joe Schmo is not going to get it until he pays off the $30,000 he now owes instead of the $10,000. So they're gonna right, keep his refund for the next 6 years. But wait, while he's paying on it, the interest still compounds. So it's probably going to be more like 7 years, right? That's going to be a problem for Joe Schmo, especially if his cat gets sick again, right?
Mm.
Vets are expensive. My freaking dog broke his knee, and it was $5,000 just for the operation.
Oh,
and kids want extracurricular activities. It's going to suck, and that's the middle class right there. But then let's look forward more. once that happens and all these tax bills go out, those companies come that call, we can help you with your tax debt. We can give you loans to pay off your tax debt right away. They're high interest, but we can give you a loan. So people are going to go in debt. People are going to owe people. It's going to be a disaster for our middle class.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm trying to, like, I have an imagination. I give myself anxiety all the time because I go always about the what ifs, right? It's a superpower and it's, well, not. But this, what I'm describing, has already happened in the past. This is literally like a logical thing that's going to happen because the IRS in 23, the IRS already expected that they had missed out on $146 billion of capital gains tax and ordinary income from crypto. That was in 23. So they're going to come after the money because, quite frankly, the government needs the money. You know what I mean? The money is needed. They're spending it faster than they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and 146 billion compounded by 6 to 8% in interest. Let's assume there's no penalties, which there is.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
So, well, it is, there is clearly more to Bitcoin and to the messy reality of taxes and tax collection around that than we will ever be able to fit into a single chat about sats. So we do ask each of our guests, Janna, if they would be willing to come back on in 9 months to give us an update on their Bitcoin baby. Would you be willing to do that for us?
Oh, 100%.
And in 9 months, which is kind of like the beginning of July, do you think that there will have been an absolute storm of problems up to and after April 15th?
It will be. Yeah. I think, listen, I'm working behind the scenes with a lot of different people, calling in a lot of different favors to try to have meetings with a lot of different people who will have issues too and hope, like, care. Well, they care about their own issues that they'll have. They don't care so much about other people, but you know what I mean? If it makes a difference, I'm trying. I'm not going to stop trying, right? I'm too invested. It's annoying, but I'm not going to stop trying. And it really depends on how far I'm going to get before January.
Mm-hmm.
If I mean, ideally, there needs to be another year-long hold on the 1099s until there is consistent reporting between all of the exchanges and reporting parties. And we built a protocol out. We literally built out a protocol that would allow them, that would not sacrifice anonymity or the decentralization of crypto. But it's a protocol that if everybody follows it, it would internally, nobody needs access to them. Internally, it would clean it up and allow for accurate reporting. But also, the problem is it would mean that they couldn't, on the back end, charge the extra 5 cents anymore, right? Because it would have to be transparent. So, but like I said earlier, they act like broker dealers, but they do not follow the broker dealers, fiduciary duties and rules and regulations, yet they act like it, So some things has to give. I'm not saying I want the SEC or Commodities Commission to oversee them and regulate them. I say there needs to be some regulation needs to be put in, but I don't think it needs to be like one department itself is going to be the boss of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there needs to be something because they're filling their pockets with billions while literally sacrificing their users.
Jeez.
Where can our Satillionaires go to get your product?
They can go to DeFiTax.us. And like I said, you can get in for free right now. We are doing some updates on APIs in the background. So some things are static right now, but like I said, we're not charging anyone. It all gets updated. You can contact us. I mean, I literally I'm very involved. I get support emails. If there's any questions on the support, they pop up to me. I get informed of it. If you have any issues, if you've had prior crypto audits, please call me. I'd love to get I would love to help you figure out if it didn't go in your way. Like, didn't go your way, not in your way. You know, let me know how I can help, because I'm at a point where I'm just pissed.
Yeah. Janna is pissed.
Yeah.
DeFiTax.us. Let's flip it over to Ithaca Hummus.
Yes. Janna, our founding sponsor is Ithaca Hummus. And to find where it is in a grocery store near you, you can go to ithacahummus.com. But
I have it in my fridge.
Oh, yeah. Bam.
Actually, I think my husband might have eaten it all.
Real quick, go look in your fridge. We'll wait.
Okay.
Go try to see if you
Okay.
have any.
yes.
I have a feeling he ate it. He's been eating it like nonstop with carrots. Nope, we're also out of carrots.
It's
So he
out.
ate it all.
He hit it. All
Congrats.
right. So here we go.
We
Well,
are
we'll
gonna
service
to your taste buds
Exactly.
today. Ready?
Cheers. Mmm. Mmm.
It is good. It's good.
So good. I have no notes. Like, it's just like fresh off
I love
the
the
grill.
roasted garlic. I love the garlic one too.
The lemon
Yeah.
garlic.
Mm-hmm.
The roasted red pepper is not one I think about often.
No.
My mind goes to the classic and to the jalapeno lime,
Yeah.
but that is a vibe.
No, the garlic and the pepper is my favorite, and because it looks pretty on the top.
Yes. We have reached the portion of today's show where we would like to make you an offer.
And create a giant messy event for ourselves, allegedly.
That is, in fact, correct. We learned something new today. We learned a lot of new somethings today.
Woof.
But here at Sat Chats, we believe in value for value. And in exchange for your time and coming on our show, we would like to make you an offer and a choice between $50 in fiat or $50 in Bitcoin at today's rate of 44,850 Satoshis. What would you like?
I would like you to donate it.
Oh,
Okay. You would like to donate the cash or the Satoshis? Because it's important you choose one.
Well, it's probably easier for any charity to take cash, unless you have a charity for it.
There's the Human Rights Foundation takes Bitcoin.
Well,
The-
get it to them. Get it
All
to them in
right.
Bitcoin.
Thank God.
I was like,
Girl, if you picked the cash, I was
That
about
was
to
gonna
walk
be-
out of this room.
there's
Well,
a
it's
lot
just,
of-
listen, I'm all about donating. I donate all the time. I sponsor like kids in like schools. I try to give back, and you know, I always say, listen, as long as my kids are fed and clothed, I have a roof over my head,
Mhm.
I have enough, and I have enough left over to ensure that I can help other people to not be in any crappy situation. You know, I'm going to make sure that that's what I do.
So we'll donate it to the IRS so they can try to hire more people to help do things
that's
more correctly.
Okay.
Right,
Now,
right.
now we're going to fight. Now we're going to start a fight. We're going to fight.
All right. Well,
Or we'll donate. Okay, first of all, high five. High five. You do bring our show's scoreboard to 127 who have stacked the sats, along with 9 who have chosen the cash. But we might also find a way to donate these Satoshis to the individuals that are developing your DeFi tax software to help push you forward. But we will find a place for these Satoshis. Satillionaires, if your head is spinning as much as mine is, or if you are feeling as angry at the government and the exchanges for all of the inaccuracies
And the crypto tax products.
and the crypto tax products, if you are as pissed as Janna is about how things currently are, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, because we are bringing you individuals like Janna 4 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, TikTok Next Block Fridays at 11 a.m. That's the live game show where you play for 1 million sats. Hit the bell icon while you're there so that you're notified when we post something new. And jump into the show notes if you want even more ways to support Sat Chats. If you're a sponsor, there's some information in the show notes for you as well. Thanks so much for watching today's episode of Sat Chats with number 130,
Woo.
Janna, okay? Ain't gonna be hard to track that number.
Nope.
Sat Chats is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our guests' views are their own. Until next time, keep stacking those sats, but keep track of them. Golly.
Yes, definitely keep track of that.
Dude, my head hurts. Bye-bye.
Yeah.